If we can get Ryan Reynolds to return as Green Lantern, I'm gonna say it. I want Mike Myers to return as the Cat in the Hat. Controversial, I know. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on another episode of Side Flick. My name is Chris. My god, boys, we are in a dry season of movie news. I have been wanting to do a Side Flick ever since I got back home, but man, there's like really nothing to talk about. Even the things I'm going to discuss today, I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. There's some really great information in here, but if one of y'all can start doing a movie news rain dance outside, that'd be much appreciated. But some of the stuff we're going to be talking about today is an update on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot that is happening with Seth Rogen, Ryan Reynolds hinting his return at Green Lantern, that and so much more, guys. So I'm going to need you to leave your opinions down below on what got you the most excited. Specifically, the whole Ryan Reynolds situation. Would you be willing to give the boy another chance? And also don't be forgetting to hit that like button. I see my subscriber count's almost at 200K. It would be so great to get there. Alright, so starting off with some Marvel talk here. You know Phase 4 is in full swing. The next round of Marvel movies are all basically brand new characters, and the one I'm kind of most looking forward to out of all of them is Shang Chi. It is also one of the next movies up in production since the whole pandemic. This is one of the movies that was supposed to already be shot and done. And thanks to a news station in Australia, we got an overhead look of the production and set of the Shang Chi movie. And man, this really makes you appreciate the sets Marvel is able to build for their movies. Just the fact that they built that from the ground up, a temple, a couple of buildings. Of course they got a green screen in the background, but that's always expected. Seeing this really hypes me up for Shang-Chi. The reason I'm most excited for this character is because he is the master of Kung Fu, and I have missed me the days of Kung Fu action movies. We get that a little bit with the John Wick films with a little gun fu, as they like to call it, but I miss traditional hand-to-hand combat that really resembles a lot of what the Jackie Chan movies did back in the day. So I do have high hopes for this Shang-Chi movie in terms of choreography and the fight styles, but looking at the actual set they have here makes me more pumped to see the world they're going to be building and the other parts of the Marvel universe we have yet to see. To seeing the practical set of Shang-Chi get you excited? Or is Shang-Chi just one of those Marvel movies you'll have to wait and see if you're excited for? Jumping from there, you guys know I always like to bring up small up-and-coming horror movies that really seem weird, but hey, I like the title of this one. Amy Adams, who once played Lois Lane in Man of Steel, is now attached to a movie entitled Night Bitch. Yep, you heard me right. That's the title of this movie. It's a novel with an interesting premise that'll be adapted into a movie. This is exactly what the story will follow. Night Bitch centers on an unnamed woman and former artist. She is suddenly pushed into a stay-at-home domestic life after giving birth to her son. She soon becomes concerned that she's turning into a dog. Her husband, who travels for work, is often gone and is quick to dismiss her fears. Meanwhile, she is forced to contend with the very physical manifestation of her solitary anxiety, having only her 2-year-old son as company. This is a bit different. I mean, one could say this is kind of like a werewolf movie, but instead of a werewolf, you're turning into a dog. With an actress like Amy Adams behind this movie, it lets me know that they're probably going to take this seriously, because I could easily see this being turned into a comedy. Have we not forgotten what happens when Robert Downey Jr. turns into a dog?
Go, Zach. Go fetch.
Still laugh every time I see that. But with a title like that, it also lets me know that the movie's gonna be intense, probably graphic. But then again, how much damage can you do as a person turning into a dog? Will they just make it like a werewolf-like story? Honestly, just give me a poster with the title Night Bitch on it and I'll wear that as a t-shirt. With Amy Adams behind a movie like Night Bitch, does this get you guys interested? And YouTube, please don't demonetize me for saying that word. Jumping off from a crazy dog, let's jump into some crazy turtles. So you guys know I made a video a while back talking about how Seth Rogen is attached to the new reboot with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, the Turtles to me are some of my favorite characters in comic books and in cartoon and in movie form. They basically hit the trifecta. With my minor disappointment of the Michael Bay produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was really excited to see what the next round of movies would be like. And for those of you who don't know, let me catch you up. Seth Rogen and his team at Point Grey, the same people who brought us Sausage Party, are gonna be bringing us a 3D animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie with Nickelodeon. This will be a complete reboot and not be connected to anything we've seen previously. So unfortunately, it's not live action like I was hoping it would be, but still there's a lot they could do with 3D animation. Well, Seth Rogen was recently doing a lot of interviews because of his movie that's coming out this week to HBO Max, American Pickle, that I am kind of looking forward to. And during these interviews, he was asked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this is what he had to say. When I look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the teenage part was weirdly what stuck out to me the most. I think one thing we've been pretty consistently good at over the years is creating material about teenagers, from Blockers, Good Boys, and Superbad. That was really what became exciting for us, is how do we make a great action adventure movie that's also a great teenage movie? And that right there kind of makes perfect sense why Seth Rogen and his team were chosen for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They do basically specialize in these teenage raunchy comedies. And why not take some of that Superbad formula and plug it into the Ninja Turtles? They're teenagers who have a teenage mind. At least that's the idea behind the Ninja Turtles. Whenever I made my first video talking about Seth Rogen attached to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I was surprised at how many people in the comment section completely hated the idea of Seth Rogen being part of the TMNT. I'm a big Seth Rogen fan in most of the movies that they make. I understand they're not for everybody, but people were like so angry, and I hope a statement like this can kind of put you at ease. This also lets us know is that they will be focusing on the teenage aspect of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which I felt was something that was very lacking in the Michael Bay produced ones. They felt like gigantic Hulk creatures that were unrelatable, but also not to mention, Seth Rogen is a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He said it himself that he grew up watching the show, so he has a big admiration for it. A lot of people still say he'll suck because of what he did with Green Hornet, even though that's kind of a guilty pleasure for me. But Seth Rogen and his team also worked on Preacher and The Boys on Amazon, two comic book properties that were received very well by fans, and with TMNT also being a comic book property, I have a feeling they're going to do great with this. Do Seth Rogen's comments on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get you excited? And what do you want them to focus on? Fortnite jokes? They're teenagers. Something else green in our life that needs to return, Green Lantern. Now, before even getting into the story, I gotta say, I'm a big Green Lantern fan, man. I got my statue up there right behind the Turtles. Hal Jordan is my favorite Lantern, and I think there's so much potential behind that character that it sucks that one mediocre movie kind of ruined him from showing up in other films. Well, that looks to be changing because Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds himself, could be returning to the Justice League. Some of you movie fans out there know that Zach Snyders is hard at work at his version of the Justice League that'll be premiering on HBO Max in 2021. And if you dig online, there's so many things that are said to be in his version of the Justice League. I mean, we just got confirmation of the black suit Superman. That looks really awesome. But one of the things was that Green Lantern had a minor role in the film, but they never actually got around to actually filming a new Green Lantern in those scenes. So the rumor was that they would take existing footage from Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern movie and somehow try to mesh that into Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, these were rumors for the longest time, so I never brought it up. I thought that's kind of ridiculous. I don't see how they could really pull that off, but Ryan here is making it sound like it's happening. He took to Twitter to go ahead and debunk a recent rumor about him. There's so many rumors about Ryan Reynolds in movies lately. I'm not playing Hawkman in Black Adam, although I generally do whatever the hell The Rock tells me to do. I would, however, love to be in Zack Snyder's Justice League movie, and I've heard I may already be in it. Man, what a way to redeem yourself. Not only did Ryan Reynolds give us an amazing Deadpool that I hope returns to the MCU, but now the man is getting a chance to redeem his Green Lantern in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Heck yeah, I'm all up for that. And then that would also make his god-awful Green Lantern movie part of the DCU. There's a very good explanation for why he hasn't been around for the other movies, probably being that he's out in space helping other planets and doing other missions. But of course, if Darkseid is returning to Earth, Green Lantern's gotta show up. Now, Ryan Reynolds is the type of guy who's known to been jokey, troll fans, joke around, but I don't know, I kind of see him hinting to us that this is for real. What do you guys think? Do you think Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern will actually be popping up in Zach Snyders' Justice League. Getting to some horror movie news here, it feels like all the guys I have up here front and center are getting reboots or at least new movies up and coming, and one of them for sure is Leatherface himself, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A couple small details have landed online of a longer plot synopsis for the movie, also what the working title for it is. We even recently had the director who's involved with this new Texas Chainsaw Massacre take to Twitter and let us know that he's landed in Texas looking up at the great sky, so he's probably scouting for a location or maybe even starting the prep work to get this film shot. The longer plot synopsis that has landed online now goes as: Melody is a 25-year-old San Francisco moneymaker who drags her younger teenage sister with her to Texas on a business trip. Out of fear of leaving her alone in the city, the sister Driama is an amateur photographer who is wheelchair bound, and is not long until they're fighting for their lives against a 60-year-old Leatherface. And the working title for this Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is Harlow, and Harlow just happens to be a name of a small town in Texas, so who knows if that's where they're planning to film it. But yeah, this could be a really refreshing take on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre character. I do enjoy most of his movies, more the reboots than the old movies actually. I thought they did a fantastic job with those early 2000s movies of the Texas Chainsaw. But the interesting part about this is that we are getting a 60-year-old Chainsaw Massacre run around. I don't know how that's going to play out or what that'll do for the film. It's also interesting to note that one of the characters is wheelchair bound, just like in the very first movie we had a wheelchair bound character, so that seems to be a small homage to that right there. But I'm never against one of these iconic characters returning to the big screen. It's much deserved, especially after his last movie Leatherface was But I want to hear from you guys. With the longer plot synopsis for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, does this get you excited? What do you think the working title could mean? And what do you want to see out of a 60-year-old Leatherface? But that is just all the movie news we have going on right now, guys. I do want to thank those of you who stick to the end of these videos. If you're an individual who is hearing me say this sentence that is coming out of my mouth right now, you're the real MVPs. Never forget that. But as always, be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.